What? It's terrible. Don't watch it.
Oh, alright, fine. A lantern-jawed high school swimmer that looks about 25 waxes rhapsodic to Buffy about the joys of the ocean. A complete lapse of sanity on the writer's part, and we're only 30 seconds into this one. One of the swimmers is torturing Jonathan in front of a crowd of people, and Buffy tosses him aside, noticing he has a tattoo? Is that a temporary tattoo, or has he been held back a few grades? Wentworth Miller from Prison Break takes the offending swimmer for a walk, and he sheds his skin and flees into the sewers. Buffy is at least trying to give dating a try for the first time, though you could say she's fishing in the wrong pond. What? This episode sucks. I'm reaching here. Buffy attempts to strategically back out of the situation, but the boy continues unabated.
Are you wearing a bra?
Really? Is that... Why did... I don't understand. I realize they're shooting for a particular archetype here, but I've never heard of the pontificating jock before. This guy should be trying to impress her with feats of strength or by doing J-turns in his Camaro, not going on and on about the call of the ocean and inquiring as to the state of her underwear. Anyway, Buffy tries to exit and Swimmy McDate Rapist locks the door on her. Snyder catches Buffy breaking his nose and Buffy gets in trouble. Later, McDate Rapist appears to get jumped in the cafeteria, adding to the growing body count of swimmer deaths. Xander finds his skin, is cornered by a big monster, and in the next scene, he has somehow already gotten away. The gang figures Wentworth is next in line to be killed by the fish monster, and Buffy gets caught tailing him. As he storms out of the bronze, Angel makes his terrible episode posthumous appearance. Angel attacks Wentworth, but he senses something wrong with his blood. Xander overhears Snyder and the coach scheming about finding a swimmer for the team, and he signs up. This is probably the only time I thought Xander should have been played by someone who looks like Danny Strong instead of Nicholas Brendon. He's just a little too hunky. Buffy witnesses Wentworth turn into one of the fish monsters before they go and hide in the sewers. Turns out the coach has been doping the boys using the steam room, and yet, after seeing 3 of their friends shed their skin and turn into monsters, the other guys don't really seem to care. Buffy confronts the coach, and he monologues her into the water pen with all his fished-out swimmers.
So what, you're just gonna feed me to him?
Well, they've already had their dinner. But boys have other needs.
He's talking about fish rape, right? In a purportedly comedic one-off episode. And Buffy later plays on the coach's rape reference by saying she's going to get a reputation for doing it with the swim team. So she's joking about being perceived as a slut because of rape. Right? Xander rescues Buffy in the nick of time, and Buffy knocks the coach into the water pit.
Those boys really love their coach.
Wait, so she's saying... Never mind. The fish boys escape to the ocean, and this cliffhanger is mercifully never spoken of again. Go Fish was written by David Fury and Elin Hampton. Given David Fury is David Fury, and Hampton never wrote another episode for the show again, I think it's safe to assume Fury did touch up on this script. It has a bit of his flavor, some unreasonably funny lines in an incredibly dumb episode. But while seeing the ladies react to Xander in a banana hammock is good for a laugh, the humor isn't enough to elevate this one to candy episode status for me. The episode is internally tone-deaf, rape references juxtaposed against Speedo humor, but it also derails the season arc. We've had 2 previous one-off episodes, and they both feel reasonable in building up to the finale. I would even say I Only Have Eyes for You has some elegance to it. Now, this turd. Being completely honest, you know I believe Buffy's writing corps set out early on to have a higher purpose for each episode, and this entire guide is about poking beneath the surface of the narrative to see what we can make of it together. But the purpose of this one utterly escapes me. I think there is one intended, given this entire season is about sex and consequences, and this episode contains many bizarre dialogue choices that don't have any other reason to be there.
I mean, first she leads me on, then she goes schizo on me.
Lead you on? When did I lead you on?
Oh, come on. I mean, look at the way she dresses.
This is just what my reputation needs. That I did it with the entire swim team.
There's also the rape references thrown out in the presence of a wet, busty Buffy, which, since the message is totally unclear, makes the whole scene feel a bit sleazy. Whatever the intended message was, though, I'm certainly not a fan of the threat of sexual violence being used as some sort of narrative or thematic shortcut. Of course, that's a topic we might get back to at some point. The fish transitions had a B-movie cheesiness I kind of appreciated, and I enjoyed that the monster was an homage to the creature from the Black Lagoon. But I think Go Fish is somewhere in my bottom 5 Buffy episodes. When my friends say they don't want to watch Buffy, I kind of imagine Go Fish as the show that they imagine Buffy to be.
always adaptable and nurturing, yet constant.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
Are you wearing a bra?